doing all right. I've been in KL for a couple of days. As you see, I have coffee. It's been a crazy week promoting the EP. Have you guys heard Somewhere Over My Head?
All right, sounds good, man. You're here. You know the crowd's good to go. The floor is yours, man.
Thank you. Well, I wanna first thank Taylor's for having me today. This is officially the last thing I'm doing in KL, so thank you guys so much for having me. How many people, can we turn off the music, yeah? Not that I don't want to hear my own song. How many of you guys are students at Taylor's, yeah? Okay. Now I know the music club put on this event. Who's in the music club here? Club not looking strong. Okay, we got a couple of folks. Okay, there we go. Well, again, I want to thank the music club for having me today. We're fresh off promoting this EP, Somewhere Over My Head, and so we went through the songwriting process, and also too, I think we're going to open the take a seat. It's funny because we do these things, and I feel like this is really serious right now. I feel like I need to have like a kinematic equation up here. It'd be like x squared equals some bullshit down here. I want that like that. What are you saying? Oh, we're fasting, yes? Yeah. Okay, so we still have a couple more hours to go, right? Okay. I wish you luck. We'll get there soon. And it's buka puasa, yeah? Okay, well, I gotta catch a flight. But, so I'll start off. My name is Greyson. And I'm clearly Malaysian. No, I'm from America. I was born and raised in a state called Oklahoma, and which is very sort of primitive, very out in the middle of nowhere. Not a lot going on. There's a lot of cows, there's a lot of horses, and that's about it, and that sort of thing. So, as I was growing up, I had always grown up in the church, and I had grown up playing gospel music and on the piano and that sort of thing. And gospel music is very, by the way, it's very Jesus paid it all to him I owe. It's very that sort of music, right? And so I was playing that as a kid, and I went to church and started playing the piano and started singing at a young age. And my mom put me aside one day and she said, "Hey, you have a good voice, you know, you need to know that, let's figure out what we can do with it." And so as a kid, I would always be that annoying little guy at the house party when my parents would have friends over. I would be singing in the corner, and everyone would be, all the adults would be amazed by it, and my siblings would be totally disgusted by it. And so that's what I did, and I sang. And around, when I was 10 or 11, I started putting the two together, because I had separated them for a long time, you know? And I started kind of songwriting in my own sort of way. And for me, I don't even think I really realized what I was doing at all, nor did I realize, you know, sort of the impact that music could have on people. I was always a massive music fan growing up, but I didn't realize that I could do it myself, and that if I really sat down and I took a story in my head, that I could play it out on the piano and play it out on the keys. So long story short, I started writing some songs, and then I was 12 years old. I loved Lady Gaga at the time. She was really coming up in the scene with that first record that we all know, The Fame. And, oh hell yeah. And my school had a talent show, and I had arranged a performance, or arranged a version of Paparazzi. I played it. My mom was out of town during that week, so my dad said, we're gonna film it for her so she can see the performance. I played. Even my 12-year-old self was like, fuck, that was a great performance. And I went back home, I looked at the video, and I said, you know what? Why don't I post this up online? I'll show my friends a bit, and I'll see maybe if I can get 1,000 views. And long story short, I think it's somewhere around 65 million now. So by the way, if I'm boring you guys, I just want someone to just say, shut up! Right, okay? I'm not a lecturer, remember, I'm a kid. We're just and so that's where it all started for me. Inanimate thing for anyone who's going to Taylor's right now, and this doesn't just apply to music, this is everything. I was a kid who, people, I didn't dream to be a musician because it didn't even seem possible to me. That was the thing, right? To be an artist, to play music, to play it on a professional level. Even as a kid, I was like, okay, that's great, but that's just not me. I'll never be able to do that. And the true testament behind the story is a kid from Oklahoma, or no matter where you're from, if you set your mind to something and you work hard at it, you really can do it. And I know that's cliche, and I know you're told that your entire life, but it is very. The video goes online, we get crazy millions of views. I fly to Los Angeles, it was my first plane I'd ever taken. And long story short, Ellen had called, she said, we want you to be on the show. And from that moment there, we thought, my mom put me aside, she said, okay, you're gonna play the show, and then, we're gonna go home back to Oklahoma, all that sort of thing. And then we got to Ellen, and it was very clear that it wasn't just gonna stop there. And so I signed my first record deal when I was 13, and with Interscope Records in America and with Universal Music, and which is, in America, the biggest record label, or potentially in the world, the biggest record label in the world. And my little young, naive 13-year-old self signed a deal with them and pinned a deal with them. And then, so yeah, that's where it all started for me. And that was kind of the story. And I kind of wanted to come here. I don't really have a script, by the way, so I'm just kind of going with the flow and how much I want to tell you and do that sort of thing. But I'll go through, we just put out this EP, and a lot of people have been asking. I went away for a bit. I went away for a year or two. And I talk about sometimes why I went away, but I don't really talk about it too in depth, but I think it'd be a good story to tell you guys, especially considering you're in school and you're in university, and it might help you out with some things. But so, got to the record label, put out a record, did fairly well. We worked really hard. I was in the studio. I started, I had this little, at the time, you could call it a pocket knife of my songwriting ability. It was really small and it wasn't sharp. It was really dull. So I was going into the studio, and every time I felt like a little sharper. I felt like a better writer. And the goal was to, really develop that as much as I could. And so you put out a record, and long story short, I was about 15 at the time. I'd come in for my second album with the label, and at this point, I was a little cocky because I had been working and I'd seen that people liked the music and that, we were doing some great things. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna write this whole entire next record. I'm gonna be the songwriter behind it. I'm gonna be the one who's coming up with everything and that sort of thing. And long story short, the record label didn't like that idea. And in December of 2012, I was dropped from my record label in America. Right, yeah, that's okay. But by the way, Universal Music Malaysia, we still love them. They stayed by me. And so, oh yeah, thank you. And so after that happened, it was very hard for me to figure out what was going to be the next step and what I was going to do. And it was really a situation where I had a lot starting in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like that, everything was completely gone. And so I went back to Oklahoma, sort of was trying to feel some things out. Again, was 15 at the time, so you have to imagine, I'm 18 now, I'm still young, but 15 that's a very formidable time. You're figuring out who you are, you're figuring out what you like, what you don't like, all those sorts of things. And so I was there, and it was a really, really dark time for me because I said, well, what do I do now? I love music, but I hate this industry, this whole entire thing, and these people telling me the songs that I need to write and the things I need to do when I feel like an artist and I feel like I want to express myself in a way that feels true to me. But the record label's concerned about sales, they're concerned about how many people are going to the show, they're concerned about so many things that I personally don't really care about because I care about music. And so what do I do with that? Well, the first answer was, I'm done with music. I threw in the towel at one point, and I said, I'm completely out. And then I took a couple weeks, I started to go back to the piano, and I said, no, there's no way you're out. That's never gonna happen. And that's what I'd like to instill into you guys. When you find something, you're at university now, you have time to experiment. You have time to figure out what you love and what you like. And use any dark moments or any dark times to really provide some clarity in your life. Figure out in that kind of low moment, what are you really needing? And I mean, who are you leaning on? Who's your support base? What are you passionate about? What do you like? Because it's very important. And for me during that time, it was music. So picked myself back up again, started writing. My voice had changed, so I had to work through that, and that was fine. And I took a year or two off, and then I went back into the studio, and I said, the past is the past. I'm so proud of what I've accomplished, and I'm in love with music in a whole new different way. and I'm gonna really put it out there and see what I can do. And that's what this EP is, and that's what Somewhere Over My Head is. And so, thank you. And so again, the baseline of that story is bad shit happens all the time, and it's gonna happen at university too. You might get an F on your test, or something might happen, or you might, I'm not too sure how the major system works in Malaysia, but in America, a lot of the times kids will go into university and they'll pick a major, and then 2 years into it, they'll go, oh my God, this is not what I want to do anymore. Change it, figure it out, follow your mind. In any dark times, pick yourself back up again and have some courage and trust yourself a bit through that time. Because life is too short to be doing something you're not passionate about, is the main story about that. And that's true to me too. Right now I love what I do as a musician and that sort of thing. When I'm 30, 35, God knows what I'm gonna wanna do, And I'm gonna follow that and keep it together. Maybe I'm gonna come back here and be a lecturer because I'm getting paid for today, right? Okay, we'll talk. And figure it out, and that's the baseline of the story, I think for me it's even coming back to Malaysia. And I was really worried. I'd gone away for a while. I said, what's going to happen? Are they going to accept this EP? Are they going to like the new version of me? And I said, well, there might be 2 people at the show, but damn it, you're going to give those 2 people a good show. And I went with it because I'm passionate about it. And so that's sort of my story, and that's where I'm at now. I know a lot of you too might be into songwriting and doing that sort of thing, so maybe I'll talk a bit more about that. I get a lot of questions about what's your inspiration, what's the process, what's this like, and that sort of thing. And every time I feel bad with the answer because it's not an exciting answer. What's your inspiration? Well, I wake up in the morning and I live life and I go to sleep, and then I look back at that day and I'm inspired by it because of the relationships I have with my friends, with my people, the things that happen. I just moved to Los Angeles from Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma, very primitive. Very simple, everyone drinks a lot, they have a good time, it's all fine. LA is crazy, people have fame, they have money and all this stuff, they're absolutely delusional, but it's also a really fun city. That inspires me, I like it, it interests me. So I take those little things, and people ask, what's the process like? There's not really a process. Some nights I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, a little melody in my head, let me figure it out. Okay, record it. Next morning I might wake up and it might become a song. That's just how it works. And this EP, for example, there was a record I had on the last song on the EP is a record called More Than Me. And again, we like that song, yeah?
Yes!
And More Than Me was over gospel chords that I played around with for 6 months, 6, 7 months. I wrote 5 songs over it, and nothing felt right. And then finally, this feels good, and it was the saddest lyric I'd written in a while, but it felt good to me and I went with it. So to any songwriters out there, I'd encourage you to be patient and to don't try to, make a structure. Don't try to wake up at 9 a.m. and go, okay, by 3 o'clock I'm gonna have a song, it's gonna be a hit. Because by 3 o'clock you're gonna have a really shitty song, I can assure you. It's not really good. You need to follow your intuition, follow your gut, and be patient with it. I'd also say too, again, I know some of you might be into songwriting. I know some of you are probably doing more harder things at the university and that sort of thing. Enjoy this time, be young. And that's coming from an 18-year-old, so I can relate to that. I need to tell myself that more too, but enjoy this time. Really be naive, Don't get in too much trouble, but a little trouble is fine, Seriously. Have fun and don't be too worried about a lot of serious things. It's a great moment in your life where you kind of get to figure out who you are and what you want to do and what you want to become. And so really take advantage of that. And again, to the songwriters, take advantage of it and write about it. Put it down in melody, put it down in lyrics, because that's one of the best things you can give to the world is a good song and music and a good record, because by God, right now, more than ever, we need that. Seriously, as a world, we need that. So, do that. I would say, who's songwriters over here? Anyone? Can we raise our hands? Who likes to write records, write songs? Yeah. Shut up, put your hand up, come on, yeah. Okay, that sort of thing. And you like doing it, right? You're passionate about it. Do you like writing songs because you think it might make you famous one day? Is that the goal for anyone up here? No? Good. Because I won't take you out to dinner if that's the case. Write songs because you love it, because you're passionate about it. And to anyone else who doesn't write songs, if you want to write a book because you're passionate about it, do it for that. But don't do it for money and don't do it for fame, because both of them are slightly overrated. You know, you should do something because you're passionate about it. And okay, I've about talked more than I've ever talked before, so let me figure out a way that I can close this. But my story is one where it's still going on. I'm not too entirely sure what's going to happen in the next week or in the next month or that sort of thing, and I'm okay with that because I'm young, and like you guys, I'm ready to experience changes as I go on. And anything that you can take out of my story is that I was at a very high point, and then I went to a very low point, and it was very quickly, and I was young when it happened. But the point is, I got through it, and I got through it through hard work, through staying close to my family, staying close to my friends, being humble, and really just trusting myself and trusting my intuition and trusting my heart. So to all you kids in university, know that, and take my story if you can, and maybe use it as some inspiration through a dark time and to just keep on going. And lastly, what else can I say here? Have a good time. Enjoy university. Don't get into too much trouble. A little trouble's fine. If you get into really bad trouble, call Universal Music. They'll bail you out. And everything will be all right. That's about all I have to say. I hope I did a good job. If I didn't, again, talk to Universal Music and we'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much.
Alright, thank you so much, Greyson. That was great. That was great. Before we do move on though, I just got a couple questions to ask you, man.
Yeah, please.
You've been in Malaysia for quite some time. You know,
Yeah.
you've been here a couple of times, and you've been here a couple of days in this trip. How's your experience so far?
I mean, it's been amazing. KL seriously is one of the best cities in the world. I actually really do think that the culture here is incredible, seriously, because like you guys, I mean, even the audience, like all the different cultures, all the different backgrounds, it's super cool for me to see, and that's something that you guys, as Malays, should be really proud of, you know, because it's really awesome. And the food's kick-ass here.
What's your favorite Malaysian dish?
Okay, well we had, okay, I like, this is super mainstream, so I apologize, but and again, I'm from Oklahoma, so yeah. The nasim gori. Yeah, and then we had, okay, what did we have last night? Mama? Yeah. We had Indian food, but like late night Indian food, that was really good too.
Sweet, nice. Alright, one golden question, man. I'm sure it's going through all their minds right now. Is there a special lady friend in your life?
I was gonna show you my dog, no.
Alright, well, just to kind of wrap things up, any last words to your fans?
Yeah, you know, to everyone here, I mean, seriously, a massive thank you to everyone in KL and to everyone who's bought the EP. It really means a lot. I don't know if anyone came to the show 2 nights ago, but we had a show and it really meant a lot for me to see the folks there and that sort of thing. So immense gratefulness. You guys always welcome me very warmly here, and I'm very appreciative for it. And also too, I mean, I don't know if this is in the books, but whatever, can we open the floor for some questions? Can we do that? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe just someone raise their hand, and I think we're a small enough room where we can get by without a mic. I'll go right there. In the white. You want to speak up? Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. So we'll walk right here. And the white over here. Yes, with her hand raised. Yeah, right there.
What does afterlife mean to you?
What does afterlife mean to me? Oh man, we're starting off morbid, I apologize. Yeah, so I wrote that record about a friend who I thought I was going to lose to suicide, unfortunately, yeah. And so the lyric for me was, thought I was more than the afterlife. So sort of like playing with this play on words. God, that's so morbid to start off with. But yeah, the friend is okay now, and everything's all good. It was a really close family
That's
friend.
great.
And so yeah, but there's a great example of taking a really bad situation and letting music sort of help you out through it and fixing it around. So sorry, that's like on the morbid scale. Jesus. Okay, but thank you for the question. That's a good question. Anyone else? Yeah. Let's go to the blue over here. Yeah, the same row.
Okay, what's the best prank you have played on anyone?
The best prank I've
Yeah.
ever played on anyone. So actually, we've been doing this in the car. We play a game, sort of my team and I, called Chances Are. Do you guys know what Chances Are is? Okay, so you would tell somebody, you'd ask them, you'd say, okay, chances are that, one of the ones that we were talking about in the car was Alex, my manager, said, chances are that at the end of your speech you drop your mic. You just drop it. And so I said, okay, 1 out of 100. And then we go 3, 2, 1, and we both say a number out of 1 of 100. And if it's the same number, then I have to do it. But you pick your own odds, right? So Alex, just recently, just in the car, I said, chances are, I don't know if this is a prank, but we've been working so hard, I'm enjoying this, so let me have it. I said, chances are that we get out of the car, and you see that person over there that we haven't met before, and Alex goes, yeah. I said, chances are that when we get out of the car, you just have to, actually, I think he's right up there. By the way, okay, so Alex, okay, so check this out. So I said, chances are, we've never met you before. Thank you for everything, but we haven't met you before. So we saw you in the car, and I said, Alex, chances are that you don't just go up to that guy and say, thank you for everything before you even introduce yourself. And he goes, okay, 1 out of 15. And we said 3, 2, 1, and we both said 14. And so, but seriously, thank you for everything. But I hope you were like, okay, that was a little weird. That's what we were hoping for. Okay. I don't know if that's a prank, but I thought that was funny.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, let's see maybe more in the center here. What do we have? Okay, down to these girls over here, maybe in the black.
Do you know that cucumber are like to remove the carcinogenic substances in your body? And if you're stranded in an island and you only have durian and cucumber, what food will you choose?
Yeah, so who likes durian here? Raise your hands. Who doesn't like durian here? If I have durian and cucumber, I also hate cucumbers. If I have durian and cucumber,
But it's good for you.
No, I'd kill myself. Straight, I'd starve. I'd be okay with that. All right, anybody else we have up here? Okay, let's see. Why don't we go all the way in the back? Guy, last row. Sorry, I'm making you walk up the stairs. It's okay. See, I work the universal stack.
Hi, Grayson.
Hey, how are you?
When you write songs, how do you match your music with your lyrics?
That's a really good question. Everything for me starts out on the piano. Everything. So that's where it goes. And I have producers and friends that I work with in LA and back in America, and it sometimes takes a while, I'm not gonna lie. Because you start off and you might, at the piano, I have a very strict vision. If a song really starts and it starts to go somewhere, I have a really strict, I know where I want it to go. So I work with producers and friends that I know that can take it to that place. And it's really, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it takes you a minute. But more than me, I've talked about that one, I'll talk about it again. When I played that song on the piano, I said that can't be a pop production. It's gotta be some guitars, it's gotta be some more organic sort of things, because that's just what it felt like to me. Hit and Run's a song off the EP, and I said that one's gotta fucking hit when the chorus drops, so let's make it hit. And it changes with everything. But I have a really strict vision and sort of an idea of where it's at, and I don't know really how to explain that. It's always just there. Also too, I'm like the worst person in the studio. That's why I work with my friends, because the producers, they'll say, okay, what are you picturing? And I'm like, it's gotta be red. It's gotta be, it's gotta hit. What does that mean? And most of my friends, I think, just tell me that they understand what it means. And so, okay, it's gotta be more red. But you work it out as you go. What else over here? Okay, the woman in I don't even know what color you're in, but I like it. Yeah, right there.
Do you like to read books, and do you ever get inspired by the stories in the books you read?
Yeah, I read a lot. A lot. But actually, I'm quietly like a very big political junkie. Any poli-sci, political science, any social science folks up here? Okay. So you're going to be running the government in Malaysia soon? And so I'm really into that. I don't talk about politics though. It's not a good idea to do that. But I read, I used to read a lot of fiction, then I've kind of stopped now, I start reading nonfiction. But what books do for me, yeah, I'm really inspired by literature. Because it's the same idea, an author sits down at a typewriter at a computer and he starts writing, or he or she starts writing something out, and they're making a story. The same applies to songwriting. So yeah, very inspired. I'm an Ernest Hemingway massive fan. But I think right now I'm reading a lot of nonfiction, but I think that'll change soon. I think I'll go back to fiction. So yes, thanks for your question. Thanks. Okay, who do we got? Okay, now we're not starting to get so shy. How about in the same row in the white right here? Yeah, she's raising her, yeah, right there.
Hi. So, what chord arrangements do you usually use in most of your songs?
Man, again, see, this is why sometimes it's so hard to talk about the process, because I'm like, okay, there's not a specific chord structure I go back to all the time. I like thirds just because I'm in pop music, so those always work, right? Those always feel good, but you know, sometimes I want to go super gospel, super crazy with it, and sometimes too something simple is really nice. Also, to the songwriting folks out here, don't be worried about writing something too simple. That if we need to make it super complicated and super and all that stuff, you can tell a great story, and maybe just 3 or 4 chords if you do it right, you know. So right now I've been playing everything I've been writing for some reason or another is in D. It's in D major, and it's dope as fuck. So that's all. Anyone else? Okay. Can we go down to this woman in the middle right here, girl in the blue? This is the last question. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys.
Hey, my question for you is, out of all the artists in the world, who would you love to collaborate with?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Okay,
Dead or alive.
I'll do one dead, sorry, and then one alive. For the deceased, Amy Winehouse for sure. That would have been a massive dream. Just because she was like incredible, you know, an amazing voice, and also probably one of the best songwriters we've had in a long time. And also to the songwriting junkies too, go and listen to Frank, her first record. That's one of the best written albums of all time, seriously, or at least I think. And alive, I would probably say I'm a Sam Smith fan, very much so. That would be a massive dream for me. I met him in November, super nice guy. He's very busy, so we dream about that one, but that would be amazing. And yeah, oh no, I'm on a commission. I'm not getting paid, you know, and so Stay With Me, another great example of not too complicated of a song, but packs a serious punch. And so, hold on, let me think of one more person like this one. One more person I'd like to collaborate with. Let me go back to Dead again. Okay, let me think. Or you guys, I mean, Bowie, like, did that hit a lot of people hard? Yeah, it was super sad. And then Prince we lost as well. So, okay, that's fine. Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
A lot of applause for Greyson Chance! Alright, before we move on though, Greyson, if we may, we'd just like to take a short boomerang of you and the whole crowd. Oh, please, that's cool, yeah? Alright, can we get a boomerang?
Yeah, what can we do that would be fun, guys? Can we all like raise our hands and lower them? Or no, let's lower them and then raise them, yeah?
Can we get all of you to be in the center, please? Those of you at the side, come on to the middle.